Welcome, dear guests. Welcome, our followers. Today we are going to talk about IBD patients and COVID-19 in Slovakia and also in Italy. Therefore, it is a pleasure for me to welcome Salvo Leone from Italian patient organization Amici. So, Salvo, welcome. How are you today?
Hi, Veronica, and hi, friends from Slovakia. I'm okay, despite the situation, despite the pandemic. I think we're dealing very well there with the emergency. We are home.
Thank you. Can you please, for the beginning, just tell me some basic information about patient organization in Italy? So maybe what is your position there? How many members do you have? How many IBD patients?
Okay, the organization Amici, that means Associazione Malattie Infiammatorie Croniche Intestinali, was founded in 1991. So therefore there are almost 30 years that we are working to support patients with inflammatory bowel disease. We don't know how many patients there are in Italy because there is no registry, but we know that in Italy there are about 250,000 patients with inflammatory bowel disease. Our organization has the members are about 4,000, and this is the situation in numbers of organization. We work to support and inform people with inflammatory bowel disease. We inform them through our website, which has about 30,000 visitors monthly per month. A very active Facebook page with 18,000 followers. A mailing list because it's important to spread your activity also in this way. Mailing list with 16,000 subscribers that usually are doctors, patients, people from other organizations, institutions, politicians, and other social channels like Instagram. In addition, there are 3 dedicated telephone numbers for patients that need support.
Okay, thank you very much. And generally, of course, you are in contact with your members, with IBD patients on website or mailing newsletter, as you mentioned. But what about general activities? Do you organize some maybe seminars or conference or meetings for them generally instead of this situation with COVID?
Well, I believe that there are 2 kinds of activities in a patient organization. The network with our organization, the connection with people that cannot reach you. We are dealing with people that usually cannot move very well, so sometimes it's hard for them to reach you. But also we go and meet them, organizing meeting, especially with doctors, so to inform them, because we believe that the scientific information should be provided by professional doctors, by people that have the capability to give them the right information. So we organize meeting, we organize event. Between doctor and patient, we give them the possibility to exchange information and also to talk about the disease.
Okay, that's
outside the hospital.
Okay, super. Can you tell me approximately how many IBD centers or centers for biological treatment do you have in Italy? Approximate number.
I can give you this information because usually we cooperate with one of the most important scientific society in Italy that takes care of patients with inflammatory bowel disease. Their name is IGBD, Italian Group for the Study of Inflammatory Bowel Disease. It is made by doctors that are dedicated to the cure of Crohn's and colitis. And they have a website, but also they are in contact with us. Usually the number of centers dedicated to IBD are between 80 or 90. Maybe there are more. I mean, 80 hospitals in 20 regions in a population of 60 million.
Okay, thank you very much for this information. Yeah, of course, the numbers in Slovakia are totally different as far as we are We are a smaller country than Italy. We have approximately 5.6 million citizens. So that's why the IBD patients in Slovakia are only, let's call it only 15,000. So definitely we can.
Thank God, thank God, thank God that they are just few.
Yes, yes, I'm happy for that. Okay, when we talk now about COVID-19, yes, in Europe, probably Italy was one of the first countries. Could you please tell me about the number, how many people are infected, how many people unfortunately died, and so on, these numbers, please?
Yes, I mean, in Italy, I expected this question also yesterday. Studied the last numbers of yesterday say that in Italy we have almost 190,000 total cases since the start of the pandemic. The actually positive people are 106,000. 25,000 people dead because of COVID-19, which is a very high number.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, 50,000 people recovered their healing. So it's a situation for our country. It's very bad. We know, because I expect the next question is about the patient with inflammatory bowel disease. We know that there are patients with IBD, but as far as we know, there are just few. I don't know the reason why. Probably I believe it because the people with IBD are more attentive to the restriction. So they protect themselves, they don't go out, they try to respect the indication of staying home, not being in contact with other people. That this could be one reason, but however, I fear that there are several because many patients have had the mild symptoms and have been followed up at home. I mean, I know the numbers. I have I'm convinced that probably the numbers that I just announced are because many patients are followed at the hospital. When you go to the hospital, this number is more. It can be your case can be reported. There are people with less symptoms that stay home, and there are now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so when we go back to the beginning of the lockdown of the country, so what was the date in your country? When did the country come into lockdown?
We locked down randomly because we started at first in a city. We identified the government identified an area around in Lombardia, a small city. The name of the city is Codogno. Then they start to enlarging the area as soon as they start reporting more cases. Then they lock down the region, the Lombardia region. That is the region where Milan, the biggest city Milan is. And then the night they lock down the Lombardia. At the same time, they lock down the interior country. So the lockdown started officially in Italy in March 7.
So yeah, a little bit sooner than in Slovakia. Our lockdown was on the 13th of March, Friday. So yeah, a few days after you. And could you please tell me, so then regarding the whole situation, we know that every country, unfortunately, at the beginning, had a shortage or lack of really important protective materials, respiratory masks, disinfections, and so on. So how is it now in Italy? Is it a little bit better? I hope.
I believe, Veronica, and that this situation is very unpredictable. I don't want to be in the position of someone who's governing a country because the way this pandemic is expanding and is moving is very unpredictable because we don't know anything. It's moving very fast and it's changing our life. I mean, even the concept of normality has changed. we have to be very used to the situation because for the next months we don't know anything. We don't know how the pandemic is moving. So I believe that at first nobody was ready, even if they were telling us they were ready. And I can tell that the most impacted, one of the most impacted category by the pandemic were the doctor, because there was no personal protective equipment, especially at the beginning, because of this, we didn't know the number of infections. But as you can see, the virus is creating problems almost everywhere in the world. So it's not a situation that can be solved in a few months. So now the situation is improving, but the cases are also slowly decreasing. So the situation is better, but also because we are experiencing just a less number of people infected.
Okay, and what about then masks, disinfection, and everything like that for citizens? So is it a shortage of that, or when you go to the supermarket or to the pharmacy, you can buy how many numbers of mask or disinfection you want, or what is the situation?
Well, I heard because I don't go out very often. I'm home since March 7, the night of March 7, and I've been out. I left the house just 3 times in almost 2 months, just for a
Wow.
few minutes. So I didn't get any protection like mask or things, because the best thing to do for me is not going out wearing protection. The best thing to do is wash your hands as much as you can. And every time I come back, I take a shower as soon as I go home, and I put my clothes and I put them in the dryer. So I know that the masks are difficult to find. And I know also, as well as the gel, the price of these items have gone up. However, I believe that soon the situation should be resolved, because we will have to go around with masks for another 6 or 7 months. So probably even the factories they are making this kind of items will improve their production, so they will be more available for all the population.
Great. Yesterday, I received a message from my friend from Italy. He's Italian. That Veronica, I saw in news that Slovak government or Slovakia delivered masks and disinfection gels to Italy. So you helped us a little bit, and I was very happy for that and proud of Slovakia that even here in our, let's say, small country, we have the capacity to help you or maybe some other countries. So I was really, really happy for that. But when I listened to you, yes, the situation is probably in every country very, very similar, because also it was in Slovakia that we had a shortage of masks and disinfection gels and so on. But you know what? The majority of Slovak people, they started to make and sew the masks from the fabrics, from the cloth.
Yep.
So
even in Italy, but they don't protect too much. I mean,
it's only against the droplets or when you're sneezing and so on. Yeah, definitely. But they are like that. But thanks God, at least something. If you don't have anything like that, like the mask from pharmacy and so on. So yeah, the situation is probably very similar. Can you please?
I want to add something to what you just said. I mean, I know that the pandemic it's a very bad thing for us, for the world. But I like to think that the best part of a human being is taken out. We are receiving as country. We gave out help, and we are receiving help from countries that don't have too much thing to do, like Cuba, like Albania. You don't expect the Albania usually in the people and the people, when people think about the country that they are giving, you don't think about Albania. Albania is sending help to Italy. Cuba is sending doctors to Italy, and the philosophy is this: I'm not giving something that I have extra. I give whatever. So the pandemic is teaching us that the solidarity between people, between countries is still there. And I love that. I love that. So thanks also to the Slovakia.
Yes, I'm very happy to hear that, and I completely agree with you. Yes, that we begin or we began to behave again as humans, not as
Yep.
consumers, let's say. Yes, yeah. Okay, and when we talk now about the relevant information, so how is it in Italy? So when you need to know the latest information, the data or numbers, uh, does your government provide it in media or on TV, on radio? Do you have it from reliable sources, or how does it work?
Uh, as I said, I believe that the numbers in Italy are real, and I'm convinced that they are real. I expect more data because we are probably not tracking, as I said before, the patients who are at home, but not because the government is hiding them, just because you cannot track. We are not prepared even to track people with infection. Now we are using an app. The funny thing is that they are trying to ask people to use an app that is called Immuni. So everyone in the country should download the app
Application?
and the application, sorry, the application. And if you have been in contact with someone with the COVID, and this person is next to you, the app inform you that you have been in contact with someone that was potentially infected. And to do this and to respect the privacy policy, they are using the Bluetooth technology. No?
Okay.
And the funny thing is that patients usually on Facebook or social media, we share everything about our life, pictures of where we are, what we have been, without any problem. In order to download an app that helps us to track and reduce the contagion, everybody is complaining, talking about contagion. So this thing makes me laugh because we don't care. We are selling our soul to Google and Facebook. We are not able to give help to our government, to the governments, to try to contain the emergency.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting. I heard about the application, but in Slovakia, I'm not sure if we have it yet. So maybe in future.
It's
Could
not.
you?
It's not. It's not mandatory, huh, Veronica.
Yes. Okay.
You can choose to download the app, but if you want,
It's up to you.
you can.
Okay. So you told me that you receive information from doctors directly. So could you tell me what are the recommendations um, to IBD patients from your doctors, from the doctors you are in contact with? Because I can imagine that IBD patients in Italy have a fear, are afraid of some, of COVID-19. But what are the recommendations of doctors?
We are in a situation where patients usually are dealing with fears. We fear about reactivation of the disease. We fear about the future with the chronic disease. So a virus, it's something extra that we don't need, we don't deserve. So the first message that we should provide is to relax, because if we trust the doctors, if we trust the direction we are receiving, probably we will solve the problem. The information that the doctors are giving them are different. I mean, we collected, we created a 13-point document, and we made a video with the suggestion of the doctors, of the key leaders, doctors on IBD in Italy. And we made this video where the doctors are telling patients what to do. One of the most important things is that they should not stop taking their drugs, because it's more important to control the disease than being affected by the virus. And in case you are infected with the virus, just contact the hospital. Another suggestion is to not go to the hospital if you don't have the symptoms, or if you have the symptoms, don't go to the emergency room, but just contact the emergency number.
Okay. And what about the biological treatment? Do you have any information that some of IBD patients, they couldn't go to the center for the biological treatment because of the COVID? And if yes, could they deliver the infusion or injection to their homes, or how does it work?
This was another of the information that they were asking us. I mean, if you ask me the question that they're asking more, there are how to recognize a symptom of COVID-19 and distinguish them from those of the flu. If they are more subjects to the risk of contagion, they ask if they should stop the therapy they are taking, and I say no. They ask if biological drugs can help prevent the infection, or how to behave in case of suspicion symptoms. We you know what we did? We created a list of hospitals in Italy. They are taking care of patients with inflammatory bowel disease. We made a survey, and we asked the doctor to answer the survey. And we have a list with 121 hospitals in Italy with the number of service that they are providing. Most of them, they are still continuing supporting the patient, giving them the drugs. They can pick the drug from the pharmacy. There are most of the hospital, even in the region that are most impacted by the pandemic, they are continuing providing the service for patients with inflammatory bowel disease. The indication that we give them is, since in the list that we have, there are also the numbers of email address to contact. We suggest patients that before going to the hospital, contact the center and check with the doctor.
Okay, and so what about the drugs themselves, immunosuppressants or biological treatment? Do you have any information about the shortage of the treatment, or should it be all right and every IBD patient should have the treatment and medicine he or she needs?
Well, as far as we know, there are no shortage of drugs. At most, there are patients who. I mean, the only problem that I heard in our during our daily basis work is that sometimes there are patients that they are treated in another region, like people from south of Italy. They are going to Rome for biological injection, and sometimes traveling is a problem, or sometimes most of the hospital were transformed in COVID-19 hospital. So people are scared to travel, especially if they are taking immunosuppressant drugs. So we put in contact the doctors they are following the patient with inflammatory bowel disease. With the doctors, they are following the patient in the hospital next to them. We put in contact the hospital to give the possibility to take the infusion closer to their home.
Okay. And how was the situation at the beginning? Do you have any information that, for example, even gastroenterologists, they had to be ready if they needed to, be in the first line and to help to infected people by COVID-19, or you don't have this kind of information?
There are doctors that are infected with COVID-19.
Okay.
But I think, I don't know for what reason, it seems that the doctors that are taking care of patients with inflammatory bowel disease were more attentive and more prepared about other doctors. So there are doctors that are infected just because they go to the hospital. But right now, I don't have a big problems to report, except some doctors who are adapted.
I see. Okay, and okay, maybe the one of the last questions regarding IBD patients themselves. So you are in contact with them, you are in contact with your members. What do you think, what do they need nowadays the most, or what fear do they have the most about? Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that the fear of the Italian patient is common to the fear of many other patient in the world. I mean, being infected with the virus and ending up in an intensive care unit. I mean,
Mhm.
as I said a few months ago, this virus had an additional element of uncertainty in the life of a BD patient. The patient know that with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, maybe we live badly, we don't have a good quality of life, but we don't die. And
Okay.
the COVID is taking away this little security of not dying, so people are scared. But I think that with a little, for a little, just for a little, for a short period, because we will find a vaccine and we'll go to our normal life, which is not perfect, because when you have a chronic disease, the life is not perfect, but it's not like this.
Yeah. But we are always positive because, yeah, we have to be physically and mentally, prepared for anything. And yeah, we have to stay positive and just wait until the this situation is over and until we can go back to our, let's call it the normal life, and we can, be in contact again with our family, our friends, etc. So, okay, just the last question for you. If you have any,
We are I was thinking we are patient usually. We have to be patient twice, double
yes,
patient.
yeah, yeah. If you have any, let's say, message to all patients, all IBD patients, how to cope with this situation the best.
I mean,
Hard to say.
many stay at home and keep in touch with computers and telephone. Thank God that the technology is helping us. So maybe right now, as I say, this being patient twice, patient as a patient, a patient as a human being,
Yeah.
and just wait, because I think the doctor, the science, the research will find a solution. Just find a way to change your way of working. This is just take the situation. I know it's bad to say, but just take the situation like an opportunity to explore things that usually we don't explore because we don't have the time. And so I know it's hard to stay home, to not go out, to not meet with our friends. But we can find different things how to connect with other people. So it's just a matter of time.
Okay, thank you very much for nice words and also for this discussion. It was very productive and we have learned a lot. So for everybody who is watching us, thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can write them into comments and we will answer them later. And yes, so we stay or we should stay healthy and we should stay, of course, at home and see each other next time. So thank you very much, and also thank you very much, Salvo, for your presence here and for your participation. And fingers crossed for your country and for our country and for IBD patients.
Yeah, thank you, Veronica. Thank you, friends from Slovakia. And I promise, as soon as the lockdown is over in both countries, I will come and see you and visit you. Okay, so we'll take a picture together.
I'm looking forward. Thank you very much and take care. Bye bye.